Hey guys, I'm going to be doing just kind of a quick video here regarding depression. And the reason I'm doing this is I was asked what could help. This lady said she was having some issues with depression and pills and what have you weren't helping. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I want you all to know how much your diet has to do, can have to do with depression. A lot of people don't realize that the ups and downs that you get from having too much sugar in your blood can cause depression. It causes an up and down roller coaster. I'm sure a lot of you know about sugar and how it affects the body. When you have too much sugar, and by sugar I don't mean just table sugar, but we're talking like carbs, okay? Carbs from bread, potatoes, rice, candy, sweets, all that stuff, ice cream, you name it, as well as just table sugar. When you have too much, your body sends out insulin. Your pancreas sends out insulin to clear that blood or that sugar out of your blood. And then you crash. And then you immediately want more sugar, carbs, so you go eat more. Then your body cleans it out of your blood again, and then you crash again. You want more. It's like an up and down roller coaster all day long, which over time can definitely affect your moods and cause depression. And I'll give you a quick example. Just this past Sunday, I went to my grandson's birthday party, and I thought, oh, to heck with it, I'm going to enjoy the day. Well, I don't know how many cupcakes I ate, don't know how much Dr. Pepper I drank, as well as pizza, which is completely out of my realm of eating. Um, and I thought, oh, well, it's just for the day. Well, I woke up Monday morning feeling, not too bad, but just sort of, by Monday evening, I completely crashed. I was literally in tears. I was crying. I was just, oh God, the world felt terrible. Everything, my mood was shot. And then yesterday, Tuesday, my mood was in the toilet. I mean, it was crappy. I could have bitten someone's head off yesterday, and I knew I was crashing because that's what happened after the holidays. After New Year's, I thought, okay, back to normal eating, because starting in October, I have the nasty habit of enjoying a little more carbs than normal, and then ending it in January. Well, that's probably going to be changing now because it's kind of not worth it to this point. So I'm going to start controlling even the holidays to where I still enjoy those foods. I'm never going to just not have goodies, but not quite as much. And by last night or yesterday afternoon, I'm telling you, my mood was on the way home yesterday when I was driving home. I never cussed so much in my life. Talk about road rage inside my car. Somebody pulls in front of me. I was like, "You son of a bitch!" I was like screaming in my car. And then I get stuck behind an accident. When you pull up and you can't see and then you realize there's an accident, and there's fire trucks, there's paramedics, there's the fire department, you name it, lights flashing, everything. I thought, oh my God, that must be a bad accident. Well, of course, I'm in the lane that they're blocking, so I was pissed. I was already pissed, much less with this. I had no compassion at the moment, guys. I was like, oh my freaking God, the fire truck is blocking the lane. Oh my, I was pissed that there was an accident, guys. I mean, how crazy is that? Not even thinking about what happened to whoever was there. And by the time I got home, I walked into the door. I thought, oh man, I am like crashing severely because I stopped, all the carbs and sugar right after the party Sunday night. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of people don't know that this can cause depression. The up and down of you're feeling great when you have all the carbs in you, and then they disappear out of your blood, and then you crash, and you get kind of down. If you don't believe this is true, you need to test yourself. I will tell you, if you were to just go, say, for 2-3 days with no carbs other than what you got from vegetables and just maybe a little fruit, maybe like a piece of fruit a day, just a little bit, no other carbs, if you had just vegetables, and I'm talking good vegetables, not corn and peas and potatoes, starchy vegetables, no. I'm talking good veggies, like a nice salad or spinach or kale or all the good green vegetables and stuff. If you were to eat like that, have just protein, veggies, and water, and just a touch of fruit here and there for say 2-3 days, you would feel yourself crash. You would feel it right away. You'd find yourself getting moody. You find yourself feeling down and out. You get very tired and exhausted physically as you crash from it. That's how toxic sugar is. Sugar really is an addiction. And I will give you another example of how much addiction, an addictive substance, sugar is. When my ex-husband, who had become a crack addict, would go into withdrawal, of course the hospitals always put him on drugs and what have you. Well, my homeopathic doctor said, let him have all the candy he wants while he's going through this withdrawal, because anybody who knows about crack or any addict, they go through their phases of they do the drug and then they, decide, okay, I want to come clean, a million times. So this time she said, go get him bags and bags of candy. And I was like, that sounds crazy. And she said, no, the sugar affects the exact same gland in the brain as the drugs do. And I was like, oh man, come on. Well, I did it. And, excuse me. And sure enough, he woke up the next day after I'd gone to pick him up. Anybody knows about that. Someone who's a drug addict, sometimes you got to go find him and bring him home. Well, he woke up the next day, and I said, all right, start with the candy. And he did nothing but eat candy morning, noon, and night. And lo and behold, he got through the withdrawal without any drugs, and I could not believe it, especially from crack, okay? Granted, it didn't, cure him, because as a drug addict, it's up to you whether or not you want to stay away from it forever. But in that particular time, he would just eat, he ate candy morning, noon, and night. He didn't even eat regular food. He just wanted the candy. He was just like eating it. But he got through that particular withdrawal session without any drugs. And that's when she told me that is how powerful sugar is. And so then he had to come off of the sugar, the candy, which wasn't so bad. He had a little headache and kind of feeling tired, but that was about it. So that is how strong sugar is in terms of, it's an addictive substance. And carbohydrates, I should say. Your breads, your pastas, your rices, your potatoes, your cookies, your candies, your ice cream, your pastries, anything that has carbs, besides, like I said, fruit, vegetables, meat, water, seafood, all those other carbs that you eat. You're going to have a lot of people say, oh, whole grains are so good for you. Let me tell you something right now. They now know. They have known for quite some time. It doesn't matter if it's whole grains, whole wheat. It still turns into a sugar in your body when it is processed. So don't be fooled by that whole, oh, grains, like I've said in my other videos, I am anti-grain. If I eat grains, my moods are shot, my emotions are shot, my weight goes up, I feel bloated, I feel terrible. I feel like hell when I eat grains, other than, brown rice now and then, and that's very rare. I stick to meat, vegetables, fruit, water, and of course I treat myself. Like I've always said, I will treat myself once a week to maybe some candy or something, but small, But just giving you the example of the party where I ate what most people would eat normally nowadays, have those cupcakes, the pizza, Cokes, what have you, all that junk. Even so-called healthy food, if it's carb-based, you're going to have your crashes. You're going to have those crashes of the insulin clearing out the sugar from your blood. And that can contribute to depression. So if you're suffering depression, like say after the birth of a child, postpartum, and especially like menopause, we all know that one. Obviously, if you're in a state of mind where you're suicidal or you feel like doing something harmful, obviously you should go talk to somebody immediately. But if you're just feeling those symptoms of, oh man, my moods are shot, I'm emotional, I am crying for no reason, and this also includes before, like PMS. If you were to start controlling that sugar intake, the carb intake rather, you will see like now I'm on my 3rd day and I finally have my energy back. Yesterday I was just crying. I felt like I don't know what, I was just a disaster. Drank lots of water to clear my system out. I've been eating nothing but what I normally do, which is I came home, had some meat, some salad, some vegetables, and now I'm coming back to normal. I'm getting my energy back. By Monday night, I literally, 24 hours later, I could barely get out of bed. I was just laying there like, oh my God, I have no energy from all the crashing from the sugar and the carbs. So I just wanted to make this video because you can help control depression by watching those carbs. And like I said, I'm not talking somebody who's so seriously depressed you want to kill yourself or hurt somebody else. Obviously, that's a different situation. But even that, they're finding that chemical imbalance in the body can be caused by your diet. And if you got this up and down crash all day, sugar, no sugar, carbs, no carbs, all day in your blood, obviously that can lead to depression. And I know that because isn't it interesting that at the holidays so much depression is around, and yet that is the time when people are eating so much of carb-laden foods. And suicides are very high during the holidays. And a lot of people say, well, they're depressed. Well, isn't it interesting that that is the time when people eat so much of that stuff? So because of what happened to me again Sunday, after what happened at the holidays, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's just not worth it. I felt so bad for the next 48 hours that it was not worth what takes a few minutes to eat put in your mouth. So you might want to try that. If you're just, kind of feeling down and out and feel a little depressed and whatever, you might try getting off of the carbs. Just have what carbs you need from your fruit, your vegetables, your protein from your meat and water. That's why when it comes to vegetarians, I think that's a pretty touchy situation because they rely heavily on carbs, and carbs are what cause you to get diabetes when you have an overload in your body. It's very dangerous. I don't know if you saw it on the news, but Ashton Kutcher was hospitalized because he decided to follow an all-fruit diet where you eat nothing but fruit, thinking it was so healthy. He ended up in the hospital. His pancreas went into overload, and what it did to his body. So sugars are sugars, even if they're from fruit, so you do have to watch that as well. The fruits that you can eat that are very low carb are berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, any berries are very low carb. So kind of maybe have those around so when you're in the mood for something sweet, grab a few berries and you won't be slamming your body like bananas and grapes and all that. It's like eating table sugar. That's how much sugar is in them. So I wanted to make this real quick because I know there are a lot of people who suffer from depression. And of course, when you go to a doctor, the first thing they want to do is put you on antidepressants, which, as we all know, can have some serious side effects, even suicidal side effects. And a lot of people are not aware that your diet can play a huge role in your moods, in stabilizing your moods and your emotions. And I've had that proof, darn, in myself over the years. When I started my healthier eating habits years ago, I saw it, and I still occasionally break down like I did at the party. I'm human. But now I'm finding that at my age, I'm going to be 58 next month, I'm not willing to have that next 24, 48, 72 hours of misery. It's just not worth it. Whatever comes up, I will just taste, have one cupcake, have a, a little tiny slice of pizza or whatever, because it's just not worth it to me. And I knew that's what it was. As soon as I woke up Monday, I thought, oh my God, I'm crashing. I got up and I had to sit on the edge of my bed. I was like, oh God, and it just got worse. And finally today I've got pretty much 99% of my energy back and feeling much better emotionally. I haven't cried today because I cried like a fool the last 2 days, just up and down. And so I wanted you all to know that sometimes there is help besides drugs. And I would suggest, if you can, you find yourself a really good homeopathic nutritionist rather than regular nutritionists. I still see it on TV. They're still promoting grains and all this other garbage, which I am sorry, I've done a lot of research, and I don't believe grains are good for us. And they are a starch. They turn into sugar in your blood. And they try to tell you, oh, well, if it's whole grains, it takes longer. Well, so what if it takes longer? It still turns into sugar into your blood. And they will still promote that. And it's because, this country is run by, revenue money. How much can they get out of you? Bottom line is your diet can as my doctor put it, your diet can be your medicine or your poison. And I firmly believe that. So just wanted to tell you all that if you're suffering from some kind of depression, or maybe just your moods are shot, like say, menopause, your hormones are out of whack after a birth, well, that sugar influx all day, those carbs in and out of your blood all day certainly do not help the hormonal situation. So you might want to start watching that. And I know it's difficult because people don't want to let go of old habits. They don't want to let go of all those yummy foods. But like in my case, it's just not worth it to do it all the time. I mean, yeah, I broke down at the party, but I'll be damned if it's going to continue. You know, I just don't want to feel bad. And today my energy is so much better. I feel much better mentally. I'm more alert. I just feel better all the way around. And it also caused me aches and pains because I've mentioned before, grains and sugar cause inflammation, and that causes your joints and other things to hurt you, which, so, you know, like if you have arthritis, that type of thing, that can affect it quite a bit. Sugar is a huge inflammatory food, and grains, same thing. They know now that grains can bring on, you know, arthritic type of conditions. And like I've told you in my other videos, if I do break down like I did Sunday, I woke up Monday and my hands were stiff. I could feel the stiffness in my feet. You know, when you step on your feet and you're like, ah, I felt the stiffness. And as I've said before, I got my dogs off of grains. I have them on grain-free food. And my little dog, who's going to be 14, she has no signs of arthritis or anything. And I had been told years ago, get them off the grains or you're going to end up with dogs with arthritis. Well, my dogs are around 8, 9 years old, and then she's going to be 14 pretty soon. She's running around like a puppy. So like I said, I'm against grains. I don't think they were meant for us. They know now that it does cause problems. And when I got my mother off of eating tons of grains, she did have arthritis because that's what they ate. When I was taking care of her and took her off all grains and had her eating meat, vegetables, fruit, and water, it not only kept her blood sugar to about around 100, but her joints weren't hurting as much. She even told me, even in her dementia state of mind, she's like, oh my gosh, my hands don't hurt so much. Well, yeah, that stuff causes inflammation. So anyway, you might want to try that and be prepared that if you do decide to get off of the sugar and carb rush, the sugar and carb intake, you will have that crashing period. So I would suggest you do it, you know, maybe on your weekend off, your days off from work if you work, or if you're at home with kids, maybe a day when someone can help you, you know, either watch the kids away from the house or be there with you, because it is a severe crash. It is an addiction. It is like withdrawal from a drug. Um, as my doctor explained it, when it hits that certain gland, it gives you that euphoria. Oh, I feel good. You know how they say you eat chocolate and you feel good? Well, there's a reason for that. So be prepared for that initial crash. It does pass, and drink lots of water to get you know, everything out of you, to cleanse yourself. But eat nothing but good veggies, you know, low carb. Get online, look up what low carb veggies are and low carb fruits. Get yourself, you know, train yourself, you know, teach yourself what our low carb veggies and fruits are. And of course meat, you know, we all know meat's practically zero carb. It is basically zero carb. So get yourself, get the knowledge about it all and try it if you are having issues with your moods and depression. I have had, you know, times in my life that I was severely depressed for certain things, and I would be like, okay, I got to get back to eating right. I would get back to eating right, and lo and behold, that depression went right out the door. So just a little tip and hint for you if you're suffering from depression for whatever reason. As I said, try to find yourself a homeopathic doctor. They are much better than regular doctors. They just want to pump you full of drugs because that's how they get rich. That's how the pharmaceuticals get rich. That's how corporations get rich. The other way doesn't get anybody rich, you know, except, well, I'm sure it helps the people that make the foods you're eating. But just wanted to give that little tip to you. This person that contacted me, you know, people just aren't aware that diet really is your poison or your medicine. Some people really think it's a farce, it's a joke, like, yeah, right, whatever. It's not a joke. It really does affect you. I see it in my grandkids. When they come over, once in a while, give them some little goodies and treats. I see the difference in their moods and their temperament when they have a little candy or a juice or whatever, because juices are just like drinking, you know, sugar water. I don't care if they're 100% juice, it's still straight sugar into your body. So don't think that, oh, I'm going to be drinking juices, that's healthy. Juices are just as bad as if you ate a candy bar, because it turns into sugar the minute it gets in your body. you're better off just eating the fruit for the fiber and everything. So give it a try, guys, if you're suffering from some kind of depression or just moodiness, PMS, menopause, postnatal. Watch the diet, because that influx of sugar in and out of your blood all day certainly does not help your hormonal situation going on for those situations. And even after maybe something traumatic has happened in your life and you're feeling really down, well, that certainly doesn't help either. So try the diet, guys. Try getting rid of those carbs, the useless carbs. Get online, look for low-carb fruits, low-carb veggies. Eat your meats. If you're a vegetarian, which I just still can't get that whole thing, but if you're a vegetarian, stay away from those grains. Don't let anybody fool you and tell you, oh, well, it's a whole grain. It is a starch, and it turns into sugar in your body. Your body doesn't say, oh, that's a whole grain, so I think I'll use it differently. It turns it into basically a sugar. So try to eliminate those grains and stick to your meat, vegetables, fruit, water. And the fruit, I'm not talking eating 7 servings a day. It's sugar. So keep that low, but it's good to have instead, if you want something sweet, it's better to have a little bit of a fruit than go eating sugary things. As you all know, you've eaten, say a piece of candy or something, and you're like, oh, I want another one. Make me like a little Dove bar or something, a little Dove candy. And oh, I think I'll have another one. I'll have another one. Before you know it, you've eaten a ton. And that the same with cookies and things. That's because your body, just the minute you put it in you, it's like, I want more, 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 and you keep going for it. And don't be fooled by things like agave syrup and honey and all that. They do the exact same thing, and anybody who tells you otherwise is lying. Agave syrup and honey do the same thing as sugar in terms that your body uses it. It says, I want more. I like that. And I tried that. I tried the agave syrup thinking I'm doing something healthy. By the end of the day, after using